share to be old and secret. The top women say what they feel and what they say. The top leaving your power, too much power. Yeah. The top to women say, women say.
Hello, with my ladies, where we at? There we go. Hey. So we are here. It is Thursday night. It is live. We are in the place to be. We're excited. We're enthused. Why? Because Vault Talks is definitely in the building. So if you didn't know, now you know. You are in tune with us for the next 60 to 90 minutes. And get ready for tonight's discussion. So typically every fourth Thursday, we normally do He Said, She Said, They Share. However, due to the holiday, we are bringing it to you tonight, and we're live. We have a whole entire panel. When I say a whole entire panel, I mean a whole entire panel from all walks of life, ready to chime in on tonight's topic. But before I share what tonight's topic is, thank you for those of you who are tuning into Vault Talks Women Share. Maybe it's your first time here, and you don't know what we're about. So let me drop it on you real quick. So Vault Talks Women Share is indeed a platform where women can come together to learn more and share more about matters which pertain to their world. It's indeed right here on this platform where we talk about entrepreneurship, relationships, sisterhood, but of always ways to be empowered as women. So tonight's topic all started from a conversation that I had on my Facebook page. And it was a juicy two-part question, just kind of dropping some from the, I gotta change my voice for that, from the vault of Takara Nicole, in reference to, things that go on in my brain, right? That's a whole show in itself that can last us from now until Jesus comes back. But tonight's show is all about social media and relationships. So we're super excited to bring to you guys these amazing women. Before we do, Isha, the influencer, can you tell us what's going on in your world, my dear?
Oh my. Every week is something different. I've been extremely busy. Of course, we talked about the book last week. I released my first ebook. I got a promotion at work.
Hey!
I'm recording again, so be on the lookout for more YouTube videos. And I'm celebrating. Shout out to my boyfriend Antonio, who we celebrated the ribbon cutting tonight for his team, the Mississippi Raiders. So I'm so proud of him. But yeah, just working on stuff and ready for this discussion tonight.
Oh yes. Very much so. That's where this energy comes from, among some other stuff that's going on. But Lady Liz, where you at? What's up with you?
Girls, I am just busy working. I'm just making sure I put my head down. I'm getting a lot of stuff done, talking about therapy, getting that mental health right. It just really building my brand and business up the way that it ought to be. And, I'm learning as I go. So there's no such things as mistakes. I'm just learning what the curves, the ups and downs and the curves of it all. So it's really interesting to just be a part of that realm now. And I'm really excited about what in a few weeks, what the new year is going to bring and how it's starting right now and how it started really months ago. So I'm really excited.
Absolutely.
And my son is starting one next month, y'all.
Yay!
Yeah.
Wow.
That's exciting. Time flew by. I remember when you were pregnant,
right.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, pregnant. Like, what am I going to do when this baby gets here? And now you've been a mommy for almost a year. That's amazing.
I thank all the mothers out there that giving me advice along the way too, especially Isha. Isha been my ride or die,
Yeah, look, I'm excited for you. That's a huge milestone.
It is.
That's huge. So let's see. My turn, right? Lately, I have been like you too, Liz, just head down, plowing out different book projects in reference to my consulting and publishing company. Literally on the phone talking to a new client almost every day this past 2 weeks. It's exciting. Gotta celebrate Onyx. She's in the background. We're gonna bring her up. Her book is doing amazing. It's just exciting to be able to help people birth out their vision when it comes to a book. A lot of people have a lot of information based on other people's experiences that, oh, it's so hard to get a book out. And when you really have a vision and God literally sends you the people to help you birth it out, it's not as hard as it seems. It's actually really exciting. And so I love helping my clients get to that place. And I have some birthday specials coming up underneath the business. I'm excited about that. God gave me to literally help those who want to create a children's book next month. So anybody who wants to create a children's book, let me know, or you know somebody there. I have a really good deal going on that. And then I have a huge surprise coming out for my birthday. So I'm going to just stay tuned to my personal Facebook page. Got some things rolling. I'm really, really excited about what's taking place in 2021. Major things taking place for all of us. So many blessings to everybody who's been on the grind. Maybe 2020 has been a little rough and you're like, what does 2021 look like? And I did a live last night just talking about the power is in the exhale for me. Mm-hmm. It literally is. Just allowing things to let go of some things, to release some things, and make room for things. And so that's why the power is in the exhale.
Absolutely.
So when God dropped that on me, I looked at my phone and Cindy Trim had just said something on Twitter about exhaling. I was like, I'm done. But anyways, exhale, y'all, exhale. We got great coming in 2021, y'all. We gotta get ready. We gotta stay ready. So preparation equals purpose. Purpose equals preparation. So let's just get it. Let's just be ready. So with that being said, Isha, you know what time it is. It's your time. So come on and take us into quiet. It's quote time. Let's go.
All right, y'all. So y'all know what we're talking about tonight. Social media and relationships. So let's just get right into this. So the quote for tonight is, the intentions behind the interactions makes all the difference. What you thinking, Lee?
Hold on. Before hold on. I'm gonna be like Fred Flintstone in the Flintstones. Skirt with both feet. Skirt. I'm gonna bring our panel on for this. I think that they might want to chime in on quiet. It's quote time. So we got Coach Kira coming on the screen. We got Onyx. Let's get it. Let me see who I'm going to announce. We got the Clarity Doctor in his house. We got Coach Allie in the building. Maybe. Yep. We got Jerome Johnson. And you got to roll your shoulders when you say this one. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? We got the Love Doctor in the house.
I love it. I love the energy. Oh my God.
All right, y'all. Let's take a stab at it. I will go last. Intentions behind interactions make all the difference. Who's going to go first?
Oh, I'll go first. Anyways. Intentions behind the interactions make all the difference. Yes, they do. When you put the intentions out there as your forefront, it takes you in every different criteria of your life, of your world. It takes you everywhere. It puts it out there and you're saying, this is what I want. You're manifesting everything that you want by the intentions that you put out there. And some of them are well known, while others, you have no idea you're even doing it. So you have to be real specific about what you're doing and how you're going about it. I am the biggest person this year about communication. If you are not clear with your intentions with communication, you're lost for life. Not for life, because it can change, but that's going to be the hardest struggle that you're going to go through, that you're going to want to fix and get a handle on, because at the end of the day, if you can't say something clearly or in simple terms, if 5-year-old can't understand, Something's up, y'all. Something's really up. But and it does make the difference. Like, it's not what you say, it's how you said it. Ugh. I've been told that all my life. Never really understood it until I got older, until I became like a legit adult. And there's a difference between being a average adult, like think like you got everything going, but you really have nothing going on. Yeah. Until I became a legit adult where I started to take responsibility of my own intentions of what I've been putting out there, that's when it started to make a difference. That's when life started to curate the way that, sometimes it's like what Takara has those aha moments. But literally for me, it was just like, oh, that defining moment that makes perfect sense. Okay, I can do this. Well, I didn't know why I didn't think about that before, but now it makes perfectly clear as to how I'm supposed to put this step in front of the next, and how grace is supposed to help me, encourage me, and push me, and just make me keep going versus being in that pity party that we all like to be in at some point or time. That's my 2 cents. I'm out.
I'll go next. Oh, I'm sorry. Who was going to go?
No, you can go ahead.
What I got from that quote was thinking about when you interact with other people and make partnerships and things like that, the intentions do matter. I think a lot of times we get into agreements and arrangements and partnerships, and we're assuming that everyone has the same heart as us, and we don't ask questions and we don't discern their intentions, or we overlook their intentions, and then we get in a situation that we don't want to be in because we want to get to a point so fast. And I think that we have to make sure that we ask questions, understand other people's intentions before we partner with them, and before we go further than an introduction with our interaction.
That's very good. Let's hear from one of our male panelists. Who wants to go?
I mean, I would say when you hear the word intention, of course, I'm an educator. I always think with the end in mind. So, like when you think, when you're communicating or whatever case may be, what's your true intention? What do you see, at the end of this thing? Like, say, for instance, we're talking about, communicating with people, and I was like, what's your main intention? Like, what are you thinking? And I know for me, it's like that. I know what I want, so I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get it. So when I'm, approaching someone or whatever the case may be, or entering a communication relationship, dating, whatever the case may be, I have that in mind. And if I see that you're not on that from jump, it's either I pursue harder or I bounce out. So that's like that, just knowing the true intention or intent behind whatever you're doing. You have to be solidified and concrete in that as well. So that's.
All right. Let's hear from Coach Kira. What you got to say on this subject?
I'm agreeing with all y'all because I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm very professional on social media. I'm not on there to make personal relationships typically, unless it's like girlfriends, and even then, I have to make sure we are aligned, because you come across so many different walks of life and they have different mindsets as you, and you might have the intention, okay, I want to do business, I want to collab with you, but they might have a whole nother intention. Their end game is completely different than what I had in mind. Right. So I am very strategic, if that make any sense, on social media. I don't interact too much on people in my messenger, because most time you're trying to get personal. You're not trying to do business with me, especially the men that want to poke you and want to say you're beautiful. Hey, beautiful, how are you today? No, you're coming off as you trying to talk to me. I'm married. I don't need that right now. I'm not on that dating tip. So we have to be careful nowadays as professionals to set the tone that you're on here for for professional manners. You're not on here to talk personal, dating, all that. That's why most of my news feed is mainly serious stuff. I don't want people thinking they know me. I don't even put my child on social media. I don't need you knowing all that, because I'm not trying to get personal with you. I'm trying to get business. So we can definitely have a business conversation, but I'm not I'm just very strategic on social media. I just don't play that type of game. So that's why I have to come off with the intention that my page is very serious, not where you know who my mom is, who my child is, who my husband. That's none of your business. I'm here to connect with people on a different level. So that is why I put that out there from the beginning. I'm here for that. If I wanted a personal relationship, you will have my phone number.
Okay, Coach Kira
Whoa,
game
whoa.
Kira does not play. Marcus, I see you making sounds. What you got to say?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
So, what's the lady's young name? I'm apologize. I am terrible with names right now. Coach,
Coach
Madam,
Kira.
Coach Kira, is your business thriving?
What you mean? Is it thriving?
Is it thriving? Is it doing well? Is it making money?
It ain't making what I want to make, but it's bringing some income.
Okay.
Well, see, this is the deal, and I don't want to get ugly with you. I just want you to hear my tone. No, I'm not. No, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm serious. I had to take a hiatus from my business. For one, I got pregnant when I wasn't planning on getting pregnant.
There
And
we
it
go.
took me it took my whole mindset. I went through a dark period because even though I'm 34, I'm mature, I'm married, but that wasn't in my plans. I quit my 9 to 5 so I can build my business. And then a month later, I got pregnant. And so that is what changed my whole game plan from what I was doing to my new brand of CEO to Mom, because it is a topic that a lot of women don't talk about. I've connected with a lot of entrepreneur women on the Peanut app, and there's a lot of voices are not being heard. And I wanted people to understand of my 34 years on earth, I've never been broken. That broke me, literally, and I'll own it. It broke me. So I'm changing my whole brand now. I'm not just working for people that's trying to start a business. I'm trying to help people, mainly women, entrepreneur women, to understand you can balance being a new mom and your business. It takes a lot of planning, it takes patience, it takes understanding that you have to say no to some things so you can get your business going. You might not have the support. I didn't, but that was my life. That's my story. So I'm here to tell my story and share it and change lives. So yeah, it ain't where it wanted to be, but that's because I had to change my whole game plan. My
Okay.
whole game plan. God wanted me for a bigger purpose.
Mm. And you're right. And I thank you for sharing that and diving deep with me on that. In regards to intentions behind interactions makes all the difference. It absolutely does. Intentions makes all the difference when it
Yeah.
comes to anything. I want to know your true intentions. I want to know what your goals, what your drive, what your intentions are with me. Whether they be for personal gain, whether they be for nominal gain, whatever those intentions are, just be true to those because they're going to shine through. I never take someone by their word. I always take someone by what they do. So what you do tells me exactly who you are.
Right.
And so I don't care what you say to me. You can tell me you can be the greatest chef on the planet. If you struggling with, what's the difference between two different seasonings, I am not going to believe you. So intentions behind interactions is absolutely true. I will say, being personal can be draining, and it sounds like you are not in the zone and you are not in the mindset of being drained personally. I will say over time, I hope that you change that because being personal, you will not, I'll say this, you will not get a dime from me if you don't engage with me. And as a customer, as a client, you're not getting my money if you don't want to give me a little bit of who you are. So over time, I hope that as you grow, as you heal, and as you grow in business and as you grow in success, that will grow as well, along with your income.
Well, I think you're getting it confused with what I mean by personal and professional. you can build a personal relationship through professionalism. I'm talking about if you coming at me talking about, hey, beautiful, hey, girlfriend, wait a minute, let's bring it back because I don't want anybody getting confused. I don't want the wrong message. I don't want you to think you can just get trust from me that quickly. Especially with men, because a lot of them they talk about business, they say they're about business, but you're asking me how big your boobs are, where do you live, do you have kids, are you
Agreed.
happily married? No, you get that's a little too deep for me. I'm not comfortable with that if we're talking business. What do my boobs, my family life, and where I live got to do with that? So that's the difference. I mean, a personal where you know what my parents know about me. You know what my husband know about me. That's a little too much. I don't mind grazing the surface. Like Takar and I, we built a stronger relationship, but it was first professional. Now she knows more about my personal life because I trust her. We built a relationship. But I'm talking about if she came at me on a certain level and she's asking too much deep personal stuff and I'm not there with you yet, that can mess up the relationship we could have built or may have built. That takes time. You can't just give everybody the whole onion. You got to peel back those layers with me because you can easily break somebody if they know too much of your inner self. So I just believe in let me peel back those layers. I have friends that I've been friends with for over 20 years. They had to keep peeling those layers. They're still peeling layers.
My
So,
God.
it's just, well, I'm just saying I'm constantly a person growing. So they're going to learn things that I wasn't in high school. I'm 35 now. So they're going to learn some new stuff. I just had a friend call me today. She didn't know I was broken in my whole parenthood journey, but I had a conversation with her and she learned it. That's another layer of me. I've always been the strong one out of my group. So for her to hear that of a 20-year friendship, that was new for her.
Right. I love it. Let's transition. So we got who? Tim and Nelly left.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to go?
I'll go.
Come on.
Everything everybody said to me is really important, and I'm bad with names too. But was the young man that just spoke before?
The love doctor. You gotta roll your shoulders when you said
Dr. Love.
Yep.
The one thing I wanted to add that was is the thing with intention. It's like you were talking about. We were talking about people on social media coming to you the wrong way. We all have a responsibility to ourselves when we get out there to have boundaries. First of all, no matter my intentions, the way I approach you is what I expect. And the minute that boundary is broken, I have a responsibility to myself to stop it right then and there. And then, it's the law of attraction. What we put out, we get in sometimes, right?
Right.
So we really got to be honest with ourselves. How are you representing yourself for people to approach you in a way that you don't like? So sometimes we have to check ourselves personally when we're doing it intentionally, because we might be saying, hey, this is what I want, but that's not the way we're presenting it. So we still, with intentions and the things that we want to do, we have to first set our own boundaries to make sure people don't get into what we don't want them to get into. Because I do believe all our business should not be on social media, period. But we see it all the time. But what you put out, 90% of the time, you're going to get back. There are going to be some people that are going to slip through the cracks. But we have to first set our own personal boundaries with it, no matter what we do.
Love it. Awesome. All right. Clarity Doctor, you're up.
So, ditto. I'm done. You know what? What really stood out to me was Onyx. She said, which I love. I'm definitely on that same place where I want to hear your expectations before I even share mine, and I want to meet you where our expectations meet, which to me is intentions. She said something. She said, but we can overlook somebody else's intentions or expectations. And I think that's huge in business and definitely in personal life. Someone can tell you their expectations and their intentions, and they can share it. And we're so busy in our own head and what we want and where we going and what we want to do and what we want to attract and what we want to get, that what they said went right over our head. And we're moving along, and then we get so far and realize, oh, I guess you did tell me you wasn't on that. So I think it's huge that we pay attention to other people's intentions as they make them plain. And I also think that on social media, people can definitely ignore your intentions. And so they may have hit your inbox or what have you, and you may have said, I'm not on that, but they can still navigate your page. And that's when you have to get to that point where I guess I got to block you, which sometimes can be hard for a lot of people because they're so friendly and engaging. They don't want to block nobody, don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. So I think really the key is just really keep in mind what your own intentions are, and if that's what your intentions are, stick to it.
Absolutely, well said. So I really ain't got nothing to say. That's why I went last. Listen to everybody else. Very strategic in why I went last. Because I knew everybody else would say something that I wanted to say in some shape or form. The one thing I will leave you with is that when you know who you are, it's a game changer. And I say that often, but it applies in a lot of situations. So when if you know you're going to be vulnerable to a man inboxing you talking about, hey, sexy, hey, beautiful, because you're not getting that on a regular basis, block them. Don't set yourself up for something that you're going to fall right into. That's when it goes to setting up those personal barriers and those professional barriers and knowing who you are. Because if you know that I'm this broken woman and I'm going through the process of being healed and this man coming at me like this, making me smile, I might be tempted to do something, send him whatever, then I'm setting myself up. So just being impeccable with your words and making sure that your words are lining up with action. Because action does make the difference. Your words are just that. And so understanding, again, who you are and what season you're in, because we're always evolving and changing, at least we should be. But when we change, our expectations on us change. So if our expectations on us change, then we can reciprocate that with anybody else that we come in contact with. All right, mic drop, in and out. All right, so with that being said, we're going to transition into tonight's topic, which is indeed a juicy one. So let me give the backstory. The backstory is this. So I posted about probably 2 weeks ago in reference to some things that I've been witnessing on social media in reference to men and women. And each of the influencer, wherever it may be right now, was like, ooh, that's good for he said, she said, they share. I wasn't thinking like that. I was thinking for engagement, right? Okay. So, people came out the woodworks, people from college I never heard from. People are like, hey, how do we become friends anyways? But you chiming in. So it was really interesting to me because I was able to gain different people's perspectives on this. So here we are. So this panel is made up from people who've been married, divorced, who are millennials, Gen Xers, baby boomers. So we have different perspectives rolling across here on the panel. Wanted to be very intentional with that because social media, even though it came out, back in Black Planet days, I'm probably dating myself real tough.
Girl, you right.
Something like that, right? But real talk, these type of conversations, even now, I'm about to really get myself. Party rooms, y'all remember them? You call a 1-800 number, and you be in a party room talking to somebody, you find yourself in a whole lot of trouble. Let's meet up. Anyways, so here we are tonight talking about social media and relationships. So let's get this party started because I really want to dive in and take some of your time to do that. And here we got comments. I hope nobody is about to clown me for saying party rooms and what.
in the group.
That don't matter. Okay. So one thing that came up throughout this conversation is that social media and relationships the perspective of it is generational. Do you guys believe that? Yes or no?
Yeah.
All right. So who wants to go first? Let's hear from a guy first. Jerome, go first. Kick it off.
Dang. I'm actually just as not old. I'm sorry. I'm just as out there with the whole Black Planet and everything. And that was the introduction of this whole social media thing. And I believe that social media actually has negative effects on any kind of relationship, not only, boyfriend, girlfriend, it's any kind of relationships, because it allows the person to, I guess, be bold to a certain extent, because a lot of things you wouldn't say face to face to someone, you're, more bold to actually put it on social media. That's some people. However, I believe that it actually enforces relationships that shouldn't be. Does that make sense? Because, oh yeah, I see someone in a relationship and it's something that I long for, something that I want. So it allows me to connect with someone that could be toxic, or to, I forgot her name, Coach Kira's point, where people know so much about you where they actually begin to pull on your insecurities, and they say, okay, she's insecure in this area. So if I actually tap into this, oh, she thinks she's ugly. So I'm constantly telling her she's beautiful, she's beautiful, she's beautiful. She's going to believe it until my intentions is I just want to get what I want to get. But at the end of the day, I'm feeding into, issues that she, healing from, or either, and it's open wounds. And I'm finding, okay, this is what this is my way in. So yeah, it's like that whole, hey, beautiful, how are you? In the inbox is knowing my intentions are, I just want to smash, we're adults. So yeah, my intentions are this, but I'm manipulating and using this social media bonus platform to, segue myself in.
And what makes that generational?
I would say now, because I know we're old school. I'm old school. Like, I prefer face to face more so than seeing you on Instagram. Like, I think we're that last generation of what courting or dating is.
Wow.
Social media, you present this one person, you present, who you want us to see you as. But behind closed doors, you probably, kicking holes in walls and, but you have this pretty persona. But I just think it's generational, because people are rushing into these relationships for the sake of, I want to post on my Facebook that I'm in a relationship with, or I want this booed up picture with, because they may have a social media platform.
I like that.
All right, Craig, Dr. I love that. What else you got to say?
Well, I think he really put that well when he said that last generation of actual courting. And what came to me was, if I'm in public and I see someone who's attractive and I said, oh, hey, beautiful, or you look really nice, or whatever the case may be, and it's a crowd of people around, we're in store, that means nothing to me. So I'll walk past and keep on going. But in that same public social media platform, and they post a pretty pic, it's my instinct is to, just like I would in person, to compliment and keep it moving. That's my intention. However, in this culture, the generation now likes to plant seeds and play games with that. I'm like, if I want you, I want you. I'm going to say it. I don't need to pretend like I'm coming one way and come another. I'm too old for that. And I think younger folks, they're not that direct with their intentions. They come in the back door, try to be, like she said, I want to be about business, and that's not even your intention. So that's why I say it's generational.
I think that there's a duality to that. I think that a lot of times our generation, which I'm Gen X, that we say is generational. But if you take a look at how a lot of us behave on social media, we behave just like the Gen Zers. You see us liking and doing the same manipulations. And I think what social media did is that it normalized people's insecurities and allowed them to say things that they normally wouldn't say to you face to face. So regardless of what the generation is, then they use social media as that platform. Now, those of us that are secure in ourselves, we will do and say what it is that we want. If I like you, I like you. If I don't, I don't. So we may be the last generation that has that duality, but I do say that it's not generational just because of that.
That's good. That's good. Nelly, what you got?
As far as it being, it's funny when I'm listening to it, I'm thinking, I'll go back a little farther because I started out with MySpace. And it was just like, it wasn't even that serious. I think not even with the generation thing, I think just culturally right now and the way society has changed, it has made so many of us, even my generation, once we learn how to work the social media outlets, it's like, oh, we fall into the same trap as the other people. We say and do stuff that we shouldn't. we know better, and we actually really do know better. But because the current generation doing it, we think some of us do think it's cool. And I'm just talking generally. I'm not saying like personally I'll do that because I still believe that everybody should not know all your business.
Right.
But at the same time, I think because this is the way society's going, it's so easy to just throw some words up there or throw something or say something, and people, it's really ruining people mentally because this has become the normal communication because we don't face to face anymore. Because I love talking to people face to face, but sometimes you can't even get a normal person that you would think normal to speak because that's not what they're doing anymore. Everything is social media or some form of outlet where you don't have to see the actual face of the person before they say what they say. So I think it's a more generation, but I think right now society is slowly changing the way we do most of the stuff. I mean, when you have 60 and 70-year-old on social media doing their thing too, is it really generational at this point?
That's good.
I think it's still generational. Sorry to cut you off, but in that there are still people who are still trying to hold on to the old culture. So yeah, there may be people that are evolving and being kind of sucked into the way things are moving on social media. But I think there are others of us that are slowly, like we see what's going on, but we don't want it. I don't want it to be that way. I still want it to be the way it used to be.
Absolutely.
So I'm trying to resist, but everybody's moving a different way. Like you said, now it's becoming cultural. And the dominant culture now, the strongest voice are the millennials. Their voice is strong. They're speaking up. They're shaping the culture to where us older folks, you know, our age is like, dang, okay, well, fine. You know, have it your way. I mean, that's how I feel.
Yeah, and I agree with the Clarity Doctor on that. That's why I said that for our generation, I think that there's a duality because I think that we have the ability to pivot where younger generations don't. We can do social media or we cannot do social media. We can pivot a lot quicker and move in between things. We can have face-to-face conversations, and then we can also do that social media thing because I think all of us know people in our age group that lie about who they are on social media, and we're looking at it like, do you know I know you in real life, right?
Right, real life, as everybody says 2 words twice. But so this is interesting because if anybody knows me, I am quite the nerd. So did some research around this in reference to there's this lady who did a TED Talk, and she was just talking about how social media is really shaping our mental. And it's really taking basically the dings on the phone, the notifications. It's literally becoming an addiction. I don't care. It doesn't matter what generation you are. It's an addiction. And so when she really broke that down, it really made me really think about how many times, you know, I make sure that my phone is in the same room as me, or you know, I'm in the car and I'm like, oh, do I have my phone? You know, it's, you know, or I'll be in the middle of something and hear that ding and I'm switching gears. So I'm like, am I really a phone junkie? You know, like, hey, you're not supposed to answer that. How rude.
Love you.
I love you too, babe. But yeah, I am a phone junkie. The love, Dr. Hush it up.
I know,
I am a
social media relationships. Here we go.
No, because you know what? One night, and I literally bring my phone with me to bed, like, and I was politely told to leave it in the other room. So, because my notifications go all over the place, so I was like, "Oh, okay, this is annoying to him. Oh, that's good to know. Nice way to say that." But just whatever, Marcus, the TED Talk had a lot to say in reference to just the addiction to our phones, and not just our phones, but social media, the likes, the loves, the comments. You know, you post something up on social media, you like, oh, how many likes I get? Some people are really like that, and it's kind of sad, you know. Or oh, how many views did I get? Or you know, oh, somebody liked it and they didn't love it. What's wrong with them? Did I do something wrong? You know, you be like, are you serious right now? It's social media, but however, it's shaping our world. So let's talk about in relationships. I want to get juicy in May. So how do you guys feel about posting, those of you who are in relationships or married, about posting pictures with your significant other? And you're a business owner. Do you feel like that hampers your business when you are in a cute picture with your husband or significant other or wife?
This is my thing on it. This is me personally. When we post, it's memories, really, right? So we're not posting to say, "Oh, this is my best." We live in our best life. It's really a memory thing. Or we travel like before pre-COVID. We're travelers. Yeah. So that's how I frame my business. I actually am my business. I travel. I post pictures. I do couples and I do groups. So when I go with my girls, it's lots of girls pictures. When I go with my husband, it's pictures of couples. And I frame it intentionally for my business, for my travel business.
You post pictures of other couples and not yours?
No, I put whoever is with us or whoever. I just snap it. Hey, couple pictures on traveling because that's what I was doing pre-COVID.
To include yours?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes. So no, I don't include myself. No. But I mean, that goes back to the thing, intentionally doing that, not just for our memories, but also a business boost for myself. And it so far it's working. So in that content, I do it. But I don't some things I don't think need to be on Facebook in my personal life at all. No matter how juicy it may be to me, I don't think the world needs to know that.
Yeah. And the reason I ask is because some people feel, and I've heard this, I'm like, really? Some people feel like it's going to cramp their business if they have a picture of their significant other with them. I'm like, how is that?
I can chime in on that one for that question. A lot of people judge my husband. He is 6'4", 270 pounds with tattoos. And they're like, you with him? I notice when we go to business events, they rather, I hate to say this, but people that's not looking like us, they would rather talk to me than him. Even though he worked in the dental field, he does a dental assistant for special needs. They love him because they used to him. But initially, even his coworkers say he's intimidating. So it just depends on the audience. Because a lot of people prejudge him because he has all these tattoos. They think he's in that realm. But he also do tattoos on the side. But he's already prejudged. He's black, he's tall, he's big, and he's tatted. So they already assume he's like a drug dealer or he's in that type of lifestyle. His own grandmother thought he was a drug dealer. So, it's just, we live in that world of judgmental people. People, got their opinion. So that could be a reason, depending on what their significant other look like. I know in the South, if you got a black husband and you white, or vice versa, that can cramp your business too.
I think that goes back to the intentionality quote up to the day when it comes to your brand. And I think that's a conversation you have to have with your significant other. Like for me, I have a specific brand, and my brand, I project a specific image on all of my social media platforms. It's a true image, and I don't often include my husband in it, but I do include him sometimes. If he's at an event, we don't put a lot of our personal life out there. If you go to my page and try to figure out my personal life, you're gonna be confused. You just really aren't gonna know that much. And it's not that I'm not personable, but a lot of things, even though I'm transparent, I don't feel the need to always include my husband in those things because he doesn't have anything to do with that particular brand. But that is a discussion that we had because some people aren't secure enough to be with someone and not constantly be seen with their spouse, because that social media has evoked so many insecurities or shed a light on people's insecurities. So I think you have to have that discussion, and you have to make sure that when you're doing those things that your spouse is on board. Because I'm going to just be honest, if my spouse would have said, you know what, I'm not comfortable with you not posting me, then I would post him because my marriage is much more important to me than my business. But he's a person that's secure in himself. He has his own identity. He has his own thing. So we're two separate entities and we coexist peacefully.
That's good. Anybody else want to chime in?
That's good. I like
it. Repeat the question.
Look, the love doctor, I'm going to need for you to be paying attention.
I am paying attention.
Right, you ain't even listening. What are you over there doing? What you doing?
Taking notes on what? Who you chatting with?
Nobody. I promise you, I'm listening. social media is definitely generational. It does cross generational lines. The only thing I can say to all the great points that you all have made already is that there are things that should stay in its generation. There are things, there are belief systems, there are thought processes that my parents have that are not applicable to me.
Wow.
And I keep those things, I keep those tidbits of advice in that generational place. There are a lot of things my parents chime in on. Marcus, you should be doing this. You should be saying this. You should talk to this. Gotcha. And it goes straight through a filter and it's out the door. There are things that don't cross over. There are things that men and women are dealing with today that aren't applicable. So keep that generational, whatever your generational is, keep it in its place. Some things are not applicable anymore.
I have a question. Going back to what you just said about some things aren't applicable. Our parents were private.
Your parents were what?
Our parents were private. They didn't, express their relationships and stuff. I mean, their business was their business. But this generation, I mean, even if you do go social media or not, so many people are so quick to broadcast what's going on, and then they wonder why when they break up with someone, why their best friend or the friend want them. This is like you don't keep anything private. You don't keep anything to people's imagination anymore. And I just say that's one thing that I think is generational, is because everybody wants to be seen or heard or use social media to be validated. When honestly, if you're not validated within yourself, you're going to have people to consistently try to take advantage of you. And you're going to be vulnerable to those things. But once again, if you're putting it all out there, it's just like there's nothing to want to draw anyone to want to know who you really are besides the stuff that you're out there broadcasting. That's how I feel. Like, you leave nothing to the imagination. Of course, the guy's not going to be interested in who you are because you're flashing everything else for everybody else to see. No one. I know me personally. I can speak on behalf of myself. I don't want anyone else have the opportunity to just get just like that. I just don't want it. Because if it's even anybody, it's not. I just don't want it. That's just me.
Okay.
I was going to add kind of to Coach's thought. I mean, I never even thought about how people will judge your spouse. I mean, I think that's a great point when it comes to branding, but it's another one for me where I feel like social media, even the question is when you first sign up for Facebook or whatever, they want to say, are you in a relationship? And I feel like that's invasive, even the fact that you ask. And furthermore, I think the way I look at social media and the way they present relationships, all the posting and coupled up and your brand new relationship, and then they break up 3 or 4 months later. Now you're looking crazy. And I feel like, you need to give your relationship time before you start shouting how, this is a God sent and this is all that kind of stuff. You just met them. And so I think people are too quick to try to give an impression by posting all these pictures. And even now, it's kind of hard for me not to get swept into that, trying to bling, bling, and blam, bam. Oh, look at us. Because it's just the flow. It's the ocean. It's like, I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? And so I just feel like you just need to wait. There's a point in time where, yeah, sure, you can do that, but build behind closed doors. Make it strong behind closed doors. You don't need to try to make it look like it's strong. Let it be strong.
Absolutely.
I know this.
You don't need everybody's 2 cents in it either. Picking apart at what your relationship is, because living in that bubble of you two allows you two to get to know each other versus everybody out there in their mind is trying to get in and tell you, oh, that's not the one for you. No. Well, right. I can see it. I see the way he looks at you in your pictures. That's not legit. But some people can really see. Some people can really see into things that you don't see because you've caught up. But I don't think that you should really be putting that information out for the world to know. Yeah, keep it private. There should be, just like there's boundaries in your life that you set for yourself, there should be boundaries when it comes to social media. And not everybody needs to know what's going on with you, you know, or they can think what they want to think because they're gonna think it anyways.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
either way, it's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But who are you really trying to please?
Right.
Are you trying to please you, or are you trying to please everybody else? So yeah, you that validation definitely plays a key. You just have to understand where it is. Like, what do you want out of a relationship? That's that expectation. What is it that you want? What do you want the world to want for you? None of that should matter. It shouldn't matter. So,
I mean, it goes back to the first question when we asked about what is your intentions. You know, what is your intentions on posting your relationship on social media? Are you trying to get the likes and views and the validation of other people? You know, he's in a relationship. I go back. I know this is kind of old school once again. Back to the therapy doctor's point. Like I know at one point in time they would say, you know, women, I'm not sure if they still do this, that are pregnant. Oh, you don't share the information till you're like a trimester in because just in case you don't carry the baby, you don't want people in your business saying, "Why did you lose?" You know, so it's like just like in your relationship, you know, don't put it after the first trimester, you know, because you look like this bad person that's running in and out of relationships because you put it out there prematurely. You know, make sure it works for you first before it works for social media because you putting yourself out there. I'm not a serial dater, so it's like, no, you was just with somebody else 2 months ago. Why did you 2 months before that? Because you putting your business out there, and people don't need to know that about you. This is bad.
Man, but guess what? The same people who are talking about how you ain't supposed, wow, you were just with somebody else when you put that picture up of your new boo, gonna be the same people liking, loving, talking about congratulations. We're excited for you. When do we get to meet them? After they didn't they were like, didn't he? Love with the comment.
But you open yourself up for that when you do that. You open yourself up for that. You open yourself up for the critique. You open yourself up for people to judge your life. You open yourself up to all of that. Because I ain't gonna lie, I done seen stuff and I've been like, that's your 27th king. That's your 27th king this year, ma'am. But that's a cute picture though, so I'm like it. You know what I mean? You had 27 kings this year. I got my king, so I'm like, dang, she got another one, but that's a cute picture.
Wow.
Like, and I just keep it moving. But you put it out there, so I know that you.
27
It needs the one you told us about.
You're alone. That's right. Like,
I'm done, Onyx. 27.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's flip the script though for the people that do put it on there and it's legit their business. You know, that's legit what they do. Like the couples that I see pop up, like the whole watching YouTube couples. I never understood that. Why do I want to watch y'all live your life? I don't get it. Okay, for the life of me, I don't get it. I don't get it as well with the kids playing their toys. I don't get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that kind of proved the point, like we said, generational. Because really, a lot of it is the younger generation. That's their thing. You know, it's kind of crazy, but that's actually their thing. And even from a coach point of view, I've had couples working with me and they're arguing over something on social media. It was said or done or posted or somebody slipped into somebody's DM or somebody, you know, popped up and said something. And this is a legit argument in a relationship. And I'm usually the type to say, you know what, you have so much power. It's called block.
Hello?
It's called block. Simple power. But then it's like the justification behind it is so petty, but
you don't block your mama.
Yeah, we don't communicate that these things have issues with people that went home and they're in their house happy, and you and your spouse arguing over a DM or a simple like on a picture that you posted.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and block Mama D then. Go ahead. Told you about yourself because she don't wiped your tail.
I'm done, Marcus. I'm done.
Well, I have been confronted by blocking people before, and I always thought it was funny because I was like, if I live in my house and I say you can't come in, it's my house. If I block you on my social media, it's just that. It's my social media. You know, but it's crazy how people think they're so entitled nowadays to have access to your personal when they really don't.
Right. That's good. And so, some people use social media as a diary as well. So, just to be able to vent and be able to have people chime in their woo and their brokenness and all that. One thing I think I said I don't know if I said it in my post or not. No, I was having a conversation with somebody and I was just telling them on how there's times when broken men and broken women, for that point, they will post different things just to get the likes and the loves because that makes them feel some type of validation and special, or just to gain that attention. So you have to be very mindful of, liking and loving people's statuses, especially when they hit you in the inbox. So, I see you love this. You gotta be careful for the DMs. I have an acronym. DM stands for danger, man.
Yeah. Don't hit me in my DM because I'll never know it. I don't even check it. I have no idea what's in here. 7,432 unread messages. Don't hit me there.
Look, that's danger. I have people hit me and I'd be like, if you hit me one more again, I'm gonna copy and paste and put it on my social media page.
Danger.
Go ahead, do it. I want to know.
This conversation that you're looking to have is inappropriate. There's some things you just don't DM people. Like I'm with you, Coach Kira. There's some things. But it goes back to knowing who you are and what you're vulnerable for. You can set yourself up for stuff. Especially, I love y'all men, but y'all got to be careful for these sneaky women that they liking and loving everything and they slide in the
DM.
I just look at it like this. Social media can be that fantasy that some people might not be mature enough to handle it. What I mean by that is somebody on social media could be that 20% you're not getting at home. And they use social media for that validation. They use those filters to cover up where they're hurting.
Yep.
And so if you got somebody that's entertaining you, whether it's liking, loving your stories, following you, DMing you, that's that 20% you might not be getting at home. You might not be getting that attention. And some people feed into it, and then some people don't. So that's why I always I tell my nieces this. I've always told them, watch out for the fantasy, because that's exactly what you're going to get. You need to come back to the real world, because you don't know who that person is on the other end of that IP address.
Whoa.
That's real.
It's true. It's not out of way.
Well, I have a whole bunch of nieces and nephews. They look up to me, and I just give it to them real. Y'all in that young state of mind, it's time to woman up, man up. You don't know who's on that other end, and it can really hurt you if you're not ready for it or mature enough to respond back to it, or just block. I told them I get hit up all the time. I'm married. What am I entertaining you for? You could be worse than my own husband. What am I going to mess up something that I got over here? He can be my 80%. I don't need the extra 20. Thank you.
Right, not always green.
And you know what? And it's interesting because this problem has been around just with like broken people looking for this attention for years. Now it's just social media that people utilize to get this attention. Because like party rooms used to be popping.
Yeah, right.
Let's be real.
Hold on. Jerome, I'm going to tell our dirt for 2.5. Me and Jerome go all the way back. So we go back from MySpace days, Black Planet. He's actually one who made me get a Black Planet account. Now that I think about it. When we
were saying IT people. We are, what's that code? Put in. Yeah, stuff dropping in the Batman. Good old days.
But trouble. I mean, if you aren't securing who you are, social media can really be trouble for you. And that's how it gets to become trouble for your relationship as well, because you bring it into that. Then you start comparing this whole social media world with your partner, and that's dangerous.
I know, it's dangerous. Social media is definitely dangerous for those that, once again, it's like that appearance. You're out there putting. It gives the people the opportunity to put out who they want to be, not who they really are, and that's what I guess some people get, but some people don't get. Like I know me personally, I get those. You don't think you're this? I know I'm handsome, don't and it's not a prideful thing, but it's just like I want you to constantly remind me in my inbox. Like, thank you, but no thanks. I'm good. I appreciate it. You know, but there's also moments when I'm just like feeding into these comments. Oh, you're fine. Oh, thank you. You know, tell me more. It's just, if you're not really comfortable and concrete in who you are, but once again, that comes with. Once again, I know we're throwing this word out there. The generation. You have these 16 to 21-year-olds, if they're still trying to find out who they are, and they're allowing social media influence and people to mold them to who they're not.
That's
I
good.
mean, you have us, we're in our 30s. I mean, if you don't love who you are in your 30s, I'm sorry, just hit the reset button because it's over for you. You have to learn how to love everything about yourself. You will never be in an effective relationship if you don't learn how to love the quirks, the flaws, and everything that you have within yourself. So it's just like, if you don't love those things, someone will actually, their intention, come in, identify and magnify those things that you don't like about yourself, and feed into, oh, you're beautiful, you're this, you're that, you know, whatever the case may be, just to get what they want, and then you're on to boyfriend number 27 in 1 year, and you're not on the bachelorette. But anyway, yeah, it just makes you think like that. That it's the generation. It definitely is a generation. I'll stand on that word that a lot of things are taught. Like us, we're the last of that generation. Like, yeah, it's a difference in a man saying, "Hey, beautiful," in your inbox compared to if you see you walking down the street, "Hey, beautiful, how are you?" You get to see the intent. You get to see what's really going on. But if you say, "Hey, beautiful," in my inbox, you're a creep because you're stalking my pictures. You're looking, and then they hit you with that, "Hey, beautiful," and then they liking all your pictures. Like, no.
Oh my God.
How is that different from "Hey, beautiful" in person?
No, sorry. It was this older lady. Anyway, she just
how is a "Hey, beautiful, hey, handsome" on social media different from a "Hey, beautiful, hey, handsome" in person?
Because you can feel the energy and the intention
better.
You can feel the whole persona, the look, like, oh, okay, he's just being nice. But when someone, especially, there's a habit now on social media. Again, there's a pattern that's already been established. Y'all females done got y'all inboxes blown up with all kind of stuff. So y'all straight up like this. So it's different.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what I was gonna
So
say
you trust it more because you see me in person?
It may sound crazy, but we absolutely do, because it's the same way. People don't internet date because they think that's crazy. But to be truthful, dating is dating. I mean, a creep can be a creep in person, or they can be creep over the internet. However, we just feel more comfortable in meeting the creep in person. Now, is it right or wrong? But it's just a fact.
Okay.
Let me meet you in person as a creep versus you creeping on the low, and I don't know, what you know. This creeps at church.
And it's
There's a
hard
lot
to
of
catfish somebody
going
face to
on.
face.
Yeah, there's a lot of catfish going on behind the screen. A lot of people are not being themselves, much less who they're describing who they are. Okay, so when you meet somebody on the street, you see them. That's exactly who it is. There's no getting around whether I'm attracted to you or not. Versus online, you could be 1,001 people in comparison. So it is a little different. I think meeting people in public, meeting people on the street, in a bar, in a club, wherever it is that you like to hang out, at the library, those are much different interactions.
Stop lying.
I've happened. I miss those days. I honestly do, where people actually love to have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who like to hide behind screens and text or chit chat and pretend like they with it and they're not in it.
I think it's too as well. Women love to be pursued. I mean, and it's just like, if I'm in a club and we keep locking eyes and eye contact. If I walk over to you like, hey, or anybody for that matter, like, hey, I saw you looking at me, you're looking at you, hey, how are you? You start that conversation, but you jumping in my DM, hey, beautiful. Like, are you serious? So I just think it's a difference. I personally, human interaction definitely always wins. That's why I love that I get to teach, hybrid, because the human interaction makes it total different than hiding behind the screen. Hey, you have the catfish, then you have that boldness, and then you look at their picture, hey, beautiful, you look at that picture, and it's just like, really? You really want to message me and tell me how handsome I am? Look, anyway, that's another subject. But anyway,
Mr. Jerome, have you ever locked eyes with someone across the room in a club?
I have.
Yes.
Have you ever locked eyes with someone?
I'm always looking, and someone's always looking at me. But
Okay.
yeah,
have you ever met a married woman in the club?
Oh.
In our college days, I've met women that were married, divorced.
In the club, the same woman you locked eyes with. So that same catfish that you were proposing that is on social media is in real life.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with any of you guys. I know human trafficking is real. So I again, that is a generational thing. I don't see the veil. I don't see any of that. I don't see the difference. I think if anything, for me, social media removes the unknown. If people, like you all have said, if people are being their true selves. I'll give an example. An example for me is internet dating and Match.com, all these different things. So, and I hear you, but the thing that Mr. Jerome, that I just brought up an example of, Jerome does not know that ladies across the room is married. But what the veil that's lifted on social media is, if you are saying you're single, then you should. I'm going to take you at your word, but that removes the unknown for me, and it allows me to move in and say, okay, well, she's advertising that she's single, so approaching you wouldn't be strange. Versus me, which is strange, me approaching a married woman in the club.
I got to agree with that one right there. Hold on.
Well, I just want to tell you that happens on
That's
social
what
media.
that happens.
I said that happens in both places. I don't see that wall of division that you all are seeing.
I think the only difference is I agree, but I think the only difference in person, you kind of have that into like in time, you know something's not right. On social media, it's like a string along. It's a longer time because you're like feeding into it. It's there. You're texting. Everything's cool. But when it's face to face, I think in time we kind of know this person ain't right. Or they're doing some stuff that ain't cool. On social media, it takes a little bit longer because it's like a little giddier, if that's the word I'm looking for. But I think it's the same thing. It's just like two different things happening, but it's the same results. If you're a creep in person.
Yeah.
And on social media is how physically, like your energy. If you meet somebody, you start talking to them, and then day two go by and you're like, that person ain't cool. Same thing with social media, but the only thing they'll string you along because the lies are behind a wall, a screen.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes a little bit longer to figure out the lie. But if your energy is in tune with yourself, you can kind of figure it out with a person, within a shorter period of time.
And kind of piggyback on Jerome and the Clarity Doctor, and also Nelly. I respond better by body language and me looking in your eyes. I can tell your intentions. Like, it's a difference between you saying, hey, beautiful, have a good day, versus, hey, baby, what's up? You want to ride? You want to ride with Tyrone today? It's a different vibe. If you approach me like I'm some hood chick, I'm gonna block you. But if you at least just saying, hey, beautiful, or how your day, just making conversation, I'll respond and say, hey, they can see the ring on the hand or whatever. But if they keep trying to pursue it and it's disrespectful, that's different. But if you're just saying, strolling along and you're telling me, hey, how you doing? How your day, beautiful? I can respond differently. Again, it's based on the intent. That goes back to the intentions, and you can kind of tell more in person than on the computer. On the computer, you're just a creep. I don't know you, and you just hit me up because of what? Just to tell me I was beautiful? You got millions of people on social media. Why you chose me?
Bam.
It ain't like you.
And I want to add that there are no filters in real life, because I done met men and women in real life from social media and they ain't know who they were.
That's true.
So
That's true.
there
That's
are no
true.
filters in real life. I know exactly what I know what I'm looking
Exactly.
at. And I mean, it's even on the
Exactly.
friendship level. I've become cool with people on social media, and I see them at a party, and they like, "Hey, Onyx, what's up?" And I'm like, "I know you." They're like, "Yeah, we friends on social media, guys and girls." I'm like, "Hold on, what's your name?" And I look it up, and I'm like, "Yo, this ain't the same person." So, no filters in real life.
I love that though. I mean, I guess for me, I meet a lot of people on social media. I meet a lot of people in life, period. Let me just say that. I do. Tim and I can be out and he knows just as many as people I know now, which is crazy. But people just speak to you if you present yourself to be approachable. You know what I'm saying? I was in a neighborhood yesterday due to work, and this work I do for a client, and it was a rough neighborhood, right? But I spoke to everybody because I'm just that type of person. I say, "Hey, how you doing?" And they looking like, "Hey, how you doing?" But I was taught in my training when I used to work for DCFS, which is Department of Children and Family Services. When you out in somebody else's neighborhood, you speak because you don't want to look like the foreign one out or that sore thumb. So for me, I love people. Like it's just who I am. So I get new friends on Facebook, and they wave in my inbox, especially if it's a female. I'll chat. But I definitely do my research before I engage in a conversation with them because that's important to me. I don't want to be setting myself up for a conversation and it's not going to lead anywhere. Because like I'm with you, Kara, a lot of my relationships on social media are professional. I have a sisterhood and tribe of people that I connect with are, old friends from high school or old friends from college. But the majority of the people that I accept as friends, I don't know them, but I have a commonality with them. And so when I post something, if it's business or personal, it's allowing for them to get to know who I am as an individual. So I'm very mindful of that. I don't post a lot of Tim and I. We don't post pictures of us.
No,
like,
you don't.
Who said that?
Marcus.
We don't post of us like that. We do it sporadically, but it's not every other day. I'm like, oh, me and my king. No, we don't do all that. We have an agreement. We ain't got to do all that for people to know we together. You know what I'm saying? What does that really do anyways is the question. And we kind of talked about it earlier. And for some people, like Nelly, like it makes sense for you. You travel. So for you to have different pictures of you traveling with your girls and your spouse, that makes sense because that's a part of your business. Yeah. So, and that's the primary reason why you're on social media. So that makes sense. But it goes back to intention. What are you looking to get out of these relationships that you have on social media? There's some people, like I said, when I posted this about, relationships in social media, heck, people, I'm like, I'm friends with you? How? Trying to figure it out. Like, literally. I mean, I have 4,000 and some odd friends on Facebook. So, I don't know who some of these people are until I do post something like that. I'm like, oh, the algorithms caught you. How cool. Now, how do I know you? So then that leads me to have a conversation with them as well. So I have some of my clients literally who are clients of mine now, and we go back and be like, how did we connect? And we literally have to figure it out. So, social media does serve its purpose for me. My thing is connecting with other people, whether I can help them because I love helping people, it's just who I am, or they can help me, those reciprocal relationships. But that whole you're beautiful thing, I 9 times out of 10, I block them.
So do y'all get creepy women in y'all inbox?
Yes.
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 Y'all do? What's that like?
Yes.
Like, do they be having
Whatever, Tim. Like you don't already know.
You don't get creepy women in your inbox?
Yes.
I don't get a lot of creepy stuff in my inbox, period. I mean, when I do check, I guess I don't know. I just some of the experiences I've just never had. I mean, I may get waves or something like that. Maybe because I just ignore them. They wave and I don't wave back. I don't know. I just don't.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why you waving at me in my inbox. I can't see you waving, so I don't get it.
Yeah. I'm glad that the post feature is. I don't get those anymore because it was like when that quote on Facebook, I was like, why? Stop.
It's not gone. It's still there.
No, well, I used to always respond, stop poking me. It doesn't feel good.
Exactly.
Who likes to get poked? Nobody. Not in real life. So like, stop
And
it.
I'm supposed to like, dude, that's like,
You know,
what the
everybody
heck?
gets those unwanted messages, I believe. But
Paranoid.
when
They
you
just don't show
don't
anymore.
respond, they'll stop. Like, you know, you can go look in your inbox now. If you got something, hey, how are you? And you don't respond, eventually they'll stop. And it's just like, and if you feel uncomfortable saying, get out of my inbox, you creep, just don't respond, and they'll get the picture. And if they don't, that's when you go to that young block button. I mean, you have that power.
That's funny though.
You have that power to block it.
Yeah.
Just that simple.
Yeah.
I think we have that same power in real life, though.
We do.
We have the same power to remove people from our circle that we don't want to be there.
Oh yeah.
So that's not a social media / real life thing. That's you can do that in real life.
But social media has made it easier for us to just delete somebody. Rather, in real life, some people wrestle with literally deleting people out of their life. Period. You know, like social media, you can press the button and be done. You know what I mean? It's not that easy in real life with people.
But I think the same people that struggle with boundaries in real life are the same people that struggle with boundaries on social media. If you have a boundary issue in real life, you're going to have a hard time deleting people because you're going to worry about what they say and think about you and if they're going to post on you. Me, I believe in the gift of goodbye. So my goodbye is a gift. See you later. I don't have time for any toxic energy. I don't have time for it.
That's good. This has been a healthy conversation. So, men, y'all don't get no women in y'all inbox talking about, hey, handsome, come on here.
I do. I get a lot of fine wine takes time. I'm like, these are people that knew me from Champagne, you know, and they are, you didn't look like this. Of course. I was 20 when I lived in Champagne. What are you talking about? I'm like almost 40, and I mean, hey, it is what it is, you know.
So your social media is out of date.
People grow up.
Your profile's out of date. You ain't update that junk since December 5th.
It's updated every year.
Every year? Gotcha.
The grades are working. If I do say so myself.
I'm done. Days left. Exit days left. Okay, so anybody come with a burning question that they want to ask the panel tonight?
I have a question.
Let's go.
So this is for people that are couples on social media and they share the same social media profile. I always think that's weird and I don't get what that's about. I have people that I'm friends with that do that and they wonder why they're not in a girls chat because we don't know if you and your husband looking. Like I don't get that. So I just wanted others' feedback on what do you think the issue is or the driving point behind a couple, whether married or not, wanting to share the same profile on Facebook, Instagram, or whatever. A and B, Washington. Like,
I can't answer that one. That's
typically insecurity.
One of the two probably. I think one of the two probably have some kind of control issue. I mean, I've never been in a relationship to the point where we would share a profile. But I think those that have their first name, then you know, like. But I just think it's either someone has a control issue or trust issues. Like, you know, did you have to monitor the person that you're with? And I think that's unfair to that person because you're supposed to trust them. If you didn't trust them, you shouldn't have been in a relationship with them. But you know that it's those tier things that add up. But I know that's either like why create if it's that serious, no social media.
Right.
Wow.
Okay.
For either one of y'all.
So that's what I was thinking. I was like, maybe I'm just being too hard on them because I don't understand. We can't be together if we got to share a profile.
That's crazy to me.
So tell that to the person who runs a business on social media that in order for us to be together, let's get rid of our profiles.
But why would you?
Why would you do that?
You just get a business social media and still have your personal.
He said, "I'm responding to Jerome's statement. Did you say get rid of the social media if it's that big of a problem?
I said if it's that big of an issue, just get rid of it.
Okay,
why have social media?
I wouldn't be with a person that didn't trust me to that extent in first place because there's underlying trust issues. It's just gonna be too much.
Yeah,
I just don't understand. I don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It becomes a control issue for sure.
That relationship will end before that business account goes away.
Well, you know what? I know a married couple right now that they share a social media page, and it has nothing to do with insecurities. They just feel that it's best for them to have a page together because of the fact that they never have to like.
I don't believe it.
No,
They're not insecure about each.
No, they're not. I know.
No, is that what they're saying?
They've been insecure about past relationships. I guarantee you.
That probably is valid. So they went into this relationship together in a whole new way, and then that's their business, and they're business owners. And guess what? And
So they
don't know exactly who I'm talking about because he's smiling. Because we know this together.
They brought their insecurities to their profile.
Maybe they have insecurities that are past, but now that they're together as one unit,
it's a whole bunch of them.
Accountability. It's that new age accountability.
Yeah, they decided to have one together. Maybe to separate the fact that this person ain't in somebody's inbox. I don't know.
But they might get a secret profile. I see, this is why I don't get it.
But it's previous.
Because if somebody wants to cheat, they're going to cheat, and I don't think people get that. Exactly. So you can have all the profiles together that you want to. You can have a 672 individual ones. I think that when people understand that you can't do anything to keep people from cheating, if someone wants to cheat on you, they're going to cheat on you. You can have a password. You can have their social media profile. You can have all of that information. It doesn't do anything except for drive your insecurities even further, because now you're looking at people like they stuff. You're seeing everything that's going on. I just think that people have to grow up and understand that if somebody wants to cheat, that they're going to cheat, and you have to be mature and secure enough in yourself.
That's it.
That's facts. That's good.
Wow.
Because people gonna cheat regardless.
If they want to do it, there's nothing you can do to stop them.
Nothing. Nothing. Don't care who you are. Doesn't matter. You're not exempt.
Beyonce did a whole Lemonade album. I mean,
she sure did.
Oh my god!
If it's gonna be on blast, at least I'm gonna make money off of it. Why not?
Right. Hey, now that's strategic. If you gonna cheat, let's make these dollars.
Right. And then tell your own truth. Tell your own truth instead of waiting for somebody else to put it out on social media. That's all they did.
Hey, props to Beyonce. I'm just
absolutely
call her Queen Bee for a reason. Not me either, girl. He's musically talented, but I choose Beyonce any day. That's just
okay, I'm not alone on that.
No, you're not alone on that.
No, very. We went.
Thank you.
Okay, so anybody else have a question before we end?
I don't know if it's a good question, but I just kind of want to pick y'all's brain. But how would you handle having your ex or your baby mama, baby daddy on your social media page? Or it could be your spouse's ex or baby mama or whatever. How would y'all handle that situation?
I handle it just fine.
Hold on. Time out. Onyx, go first.
I have. This is my second marriage. I've been married for 20 years.
Congratulations.
My second husband. Thank you.
But
my first husband, he's friends with both of us. My husband, my second husband, I'm friends with his the mother of his child. We're all friends on Facebook. We comment. We go to events together. We just learned that believing that blended families don't work was an issue. Now, we don't overly share what's going on in our lives. We show up for the children. We occasionally like each other's pics. I'm just mature enough to know that, that we all love each other's kids, and I handle it just fine. It doesn't bother me at all.
If you didn't,
it's a blessing.
If you didn't have the kids, would you still keep them in your lives?
Probably. I don't know. They've always just been a part of it. I don't see an issue with it. Like, I can say that my husband has an ex that doesn't have any kids with, and I'm cool with her. I mean, they grew up together. We cool. I probably see her more than she does, but it just doesn't bother me because I think because I just know who I am and I'm secure with who I am and my position in his life. So he can have 453 exes and some they can be my friends. I don't care because if he want to suffer the consequences of stepping on me, then so be it. There's going to be consequences and repercussions, but
Where's the knife?
I know who I am. He knows who he is. It doesn't bother me at all. I think that a lot of people believe that there should be friction there when it doesn't have to be.
Good.
I'm with you, Onyx. I'm the same way. We do stuff together. We always see each other's social media because at the end of the day, I always tell people we're not we're divorced because we're not bad people. We just weren't the right people for each other. That's the bottom line. But we created a kid, and that kid's gonna have kid, and we're gonna be grandparents, and we're not going through that. It's not worth it for anybody, because at the end of the day, we chose each other. That kid didn't choose us, right? He came to us through God. We just gotta face it. It's ours, and we gotta do the right thing. And it helps with our kids mentally too, because this is life. It is what it is. Sometimes things don't work. So let's deal with it. Let's be honest with it. Everybody's honest, but we all have boundaries. We all respect each other, and we don't have. I mean, to me, I think it's just so unfortunate because the kids lose at the end when they have all these complications.
Yeah,
I mean, you choose who you wanted to sleep with.
right.
Why should the kids suffer?
Yeah,
That's good.
True.
So I have a question. Oh, go ahead. So based off of that, so do you consider, or how do you feel, will the ex always be considered family to you? Not ex, but the one you had a child with. So, will they always be family to you?
well, I'm pretty ambivalent about my ex. I'm just going to be honest. I do consider him family because I'm still really close with his parents. Like, I have keys to his parents' house and everything. He doesn't even have keys to his parents' house. So we just have that type of relationship. I could take him or leave him. I don't care about him one way or the other. But because I'm still really close with his family, I consider him family.
Same here. We do events together if we have to. If it comes to grandparents doing something, we all there. One big happy family.
It sounds like in you all situation, I mean, I guess it comes with maturity and it comes with knowing the behind the scenes, because I mean, in maturity and in time, every breakup is not a bad breakup.
Absolutely.
You realize, okay, you're not the one for me. So like, if it was one of those situations, of course I wouldn't have a problem, with my spouse or whoever I'm dating to be friends with it, because I'm a friendly person. Like, I'm friends with all of my exes. That's just the way it is, because I've never had a bad, I want to fight you, I want to blow your car up type of relationship. My relationships have been, we're just not meant for each other, and we served our time. Let's not waste each other's time. And I think I said this on another conversation, instead of cheating and walking out on someone, if you know that they're not for you, let them go. It's not fair to them. And it's not fair to you to take them to that extra place of hurt or whatever by cheating on them, when you all both know that you all were not supposed to take it that far, or this wasn't the right person for it. It's based on like how the breakup was. If it's just like these situations where yes, children were involved, but yet and still you all realize after so much time that you're just not who I want to be with anymore, and you both agree and you walk away, that's fine. But if it's like a bad divorce and a whole wait till the tail moment, of course not. Delete them, because you're gonna always look at their profiles, you're gonna look at their posts, and they said didn't. I don't want to bring that into what the next person can offer me, because I'm gonna hold that next person accountable for the other person's action.
And I think, Jerome, what you said is key too. When you know something's not for you, the right thing to do is leave before it gets nasty. And then in relationships, if you're in a relationship with somebody long term, and you're in a marriage, that person should be at least a friend at some point in your life. So when you divorce, it shouldn't be like, I hate that person, because there's something about them that kept you there for a while. But you just have to, I think a lot of it is just being honest with yourself. And the other part to it is it takes time. We didn't become friends like 2 years after our divorce. It was something that took time, but we were mature enough to at one point sit down and have a conversation about what really happened, from our point of view. And I think that was a good key element for me for my future husband. And when I went into that marriage, it was a little different, because I'm like, okay, I knew what didn't work for me then. I knew what my shortfalls were. And I was more aware of what I'm not going to do in this one. So I think having those honest conversations with each other is also a key to help you when you get into your next relationship, so you don't make the same mistakes, because we all have flaws. Sometimes it's the other person to point them out. And if you're honest enough, you could be like, yeah, I got to work on that. It's something I got to do.
And I would add, be honest with yourself, because I'm my first marriage. It did not end well. It was an abusive situation, but he was a good father. So one of the things that I had to do was actually put those things to the side and figure out how to co-parent with him. And over time, after I went through counseling and things like that, we were able to build an amicable relationship with each other, which is probably why I'm ambivalent about him. But he gets along great with my husband. We're cool now. And I just had to make sure that my kids, that they had that they weren't penalized for the mistakes he and I made. We were both young. I mean, he wasn't the only abuser in the relationship. I abused him as well. I would fight him. He would fight me. It was just a very volatile relationship. And when we split, we did not split on good terms. And I had to be honest with myself to say, not only did he hit me, but I hit him. Sometimes I would jump on him, and it was just not a good situation to have kids in. And it did not end well. We both had a lot of growing up to do. And as we grew up and began to be accountable for our own actions, we were both able to be accountable to each other. And we never penalized each other, though, for how we raised our kids. And I think that once we were able to put our kids first, then the other things happened naturally. And he came to counseling sessions with me when in my second marriage, because I still had a lot of baggage with that. You know, when you are in that type of relationship, I had a lot of baggage. So when I got to the point where the counselor asked me, do you think he'll come in? I asked him, and he came, and we made our relationship a lot better. But I think it's because we just always put the kids first, and I never badmouthed him to his kids or anything like that. We just handled we handled our relationship separate from the kids. And then we were just able to grow to this place.
Yeah. Awesome. Wow.
Yeah, I think the one thing I noticed on my end, my story when it comes to my baby's father, is that there's just no communication, and there was a lot of lying. And as many times as I sat him down and said, look, this is how it needs to go going forward, or give him advice or things of that nature, it didn't really work out well, and it always reneged on my part. So it was me giving the benefit over the doubt every single time. And you can only take that so much. So you have to know where your boundaries are. You have to know where to cut them off and say, look, you know what? You do what you need to do that makes you feel good or that betters you, but I am out of it. I can no longer be part of this turmoil, this toxic, whatever this is. I'm not part of that. I had to remove myself from that situation in order for myself to grow and become the better person I need to be for my son, or for our son on that end. And I'm learning to do the our part, because I'm still on. Nah, that's just mine. But you really have to understand, like, you know, taking that time out, and if the other person is just not wanting to mature and step into that spot, it does make co-parenting very difficult. But you have to always be the person. I'm learning from other experiences, from whether it been my family or whether it been from just other people, just because I'm very open about it and I'm quick to want to talk about it. Like, tell me what you did. What was your experience? So like, how can I better myself? I'm constantly in a place of working and improving and being better. I don't know what he's doing, but he's not family in my heart, because I can't allow that toxic nature to come in and pounce and destroy anything that's going on in my work.
So you're not friends on social media?
No, never was. To kind of explain that as well, I mean, we met really quickly. Surprised I was pregnant really quickly. And, you know, and as I got to know him, because I didn't know him enough prior, as I got to know him during the pregnancy, I had to keep calm. I had to be good and not get stressed and not be this and not be that. And I was. It was only one incident where I wasn't, because everything he was doing up until that point was just like, dude, I'm telling you, I understand why girls get petty. I understand why people get this way. I understand why girls do this. Or I understand this, that, and the third. But it's only because I was thinking differently already. And I just didn't want to go down that path. Right. And when people push you, as soon as I had that baby, I let him have it. Because all those hormones was, you know, collected and just build on it. And I apologize for exploding the way that I did, but not for what I said. And there's a difference on that end. So it's like, I get when I said earlier, like, you know, it's not what you said, it's how you said it. Right. I get what I said, and I meant every word. Maybe not the way that I exploded, but definitely it needed to be said. And to this day, dude still doesn't get it. And, you know, and maybe that's something that he needs to learn, you know, because I suggested the whole therapy thing. I said, you know what, maybe whatever I'm saying, maybe it's not connecting the dots for you. Maybe you need to hear it from a man. Maybe you need to hear it from someone else that is non-objective to knowing either one of us. You know, maybe you need to hear it differently. And I suggested that. I don't know if he's followed through. To me, it doesn't sound like he has, because there's nothing's changed.
Yeah.
He's still doing the same behavior. He's still doing the same things. He's still procrastinating. You know, baby's birthday is next month, and you just hit me up talking about it's coming up rather quickly. Not to tell his business. But we was never friends. We was never friends on social media. We would never be. I'm none of his family. I'm not their friends either. And the only person I do feel sorry for, yes, is the child. But the child is going to make his mind up about him. Has nothing to do with me. I'm never going to say anything negative. But if my child asks, how come mommy and daddy are not together? I had a dream about it, and I had to tell him in a very tread lightly kind of matter, and like we just weren't we weren't meant to be together, but you were on purpose.
Wow.
You know, like, it's a real tread lightly kind of, I want to always tell my son the truth, but also you make your mind up about who your father is. I don't have anything to do with that.
Right.
You know, only God can tell you who that is. Your judgment can tell you who that is. He can tell you who that is. I have nothing to do with it.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't know.
No, this is great. I'm sure it's helping somebody out here who may be struggling with the same thing and trying to figure out, how do I navigate through this, because it's definitely a touchy subject. So
absolutely,
you can be vulnerable and sharing that. So with that being said, I think this has been an amazing conversation. Thank you to all of you who are watching live, catching us on the replay, catching it on YouTube, and wow. Tune in for He Said, She Said, They Share the 4th Thursday in January. So see y'all next year. We out.
Yes.
Bye.